Hi guys, how are you doing? Sorry, it's been a month. I know I should upload more regularly, but I have to sort of balance things out. I have a lot on my plate. I've been writing a book, well, a couple actually, and that's going really well. Today, I want to talk about authenticity and why it's important in not just my life, but I think everybody's life. Authenticity, I believe, should be pretty much the core principle of who you are. If you can't be yourself, who can you be? And if you don't present yourself authentically to others, how are they going to know who you really are? You know, what is your relationship going to be based on if it isn't based on who you really are? And I understand there's a lot of social pressure to conform. You have to, sorry, you have to uh, be polite, do all these things, not really talk about your true perspectives. I'm sorry, that is just complete bullshit. Sorry. Hope the algorithm doesn't take me down there. But you may face a lot of resistance when you start being authentic with people, but that's okay. When you are authentic, you put out an energy of authenticity, and you will find that people who are authentic are attracted back to you. And if everybody in your circle is being truly themselves, the ones who stick, those are the one you want in your life. You don't want people in your life who aren't really there for you, or you can't be there for them because you can't relate to their energy. Okay? It's about creating really positive dynamics between yourself and others. And that's why I think authenticity is really a key to that. As soon as you start being yourself, 100% of the time, you're going to be around people who are themselves 100% of the time. And everybody's going to be completely on the same plate. Everybody's going to know who everyone is. And that's only going to foster deeper connections between you and others. So while it's a really simple concept, it's one a lot of people don't get. Oh, I shouldn't tell so-and-so that every time they talk to me about whatever it is they talk to me, I feel really sad for them, but I also feel like they create their own dynamic. That's a pretty tough thing to say to somebody. But on the other hand, and I'm just using that as an example, if you aren't being that way with your friends, then why are you there? I have to be perfectly honest. Why are you there? Is it to stroke your ego? Oh, I have so many friends. Oh, I'm so connected. Oh, Jessica is my best girlfriend, and we're just so amazing, And I don't mean to sound sarcastic, but I mean there is a certain amount of humor in the whole idea that you would establish a relationship with somebody based on somebody whom you aren't. Like you're curating this image of yourself or this personality type that doesn't have anything to do with who you are. And the other thing is, it's a lot of work. Okay, it's a lot of work to try to create this curated sense of who you are. And I don't want to go on and on about authenticity because it is such an incredibly simple concept. But once you start behaving in a way that really authentically speaks of who you are, man, your life is going to get a whole lot less complicated. I mean, sure, there's going to be people who really rage out on you for telling the truth, okay? Or being yourself or whatever. You don't want those people in your life. When are you going to get over your insecurity that somehow you're going to be walking this earth by yourself? Because I can tell you one thing, at least from my perspective. When you're a really authentic, self-sufficient person, you're going to find out that you don't need as many friends as you might think. And that's not putting down on anybody who has a lot of friends, okay? Some of us are just naturally very gregarious, and we attract a lot of people with our unique blend of who we are. And that's amazing. Every connection you do have that's authentic is amazing. It serves a purpose. You are there to wish other people the best in their lives. We're not there to enable people or whatever. We're there to actually want the best for our friends, and they should want the best for us too. And they should want you to be yourself. And again, I mean, these are kind of things that I guess, a lot of us older people kind of learn in grade school, oh, you should always be yourself, whatever. But really, the whole system is set up to get you not to be yourself, to be very polite, don't ever tell anybody what you really think, keep the peace. Politeness is the social lubricant that keeps society running. No, truthfulness and authenticity, commitment, compassion to your fellow man, applying yourself to your own spiritual journey, those are the lubricants that keep society running. And frankly, you want to know why the United States is so messed up? Because we have the emotional intelligence of a peanut, to quote a friend of mine. And you can yell at me all you want that I'm anti-American. No, I'm not. I'm anti-idiots. I'm anti-false people. I'm anti people who act with a lack of compassion and integrity. This is about your path. It's not about anybody else's. I think the more you decide not to pay attention to what other people think, the better off you're going to be. So I'll just wrap it up by saying authenticity is the secret sauce to starting your personal journey. And you should spend some time, or you don't have to do anything I tell you actually, but if you want to apply yourself, spend some time being introspective, getting down in the weeds of who you are, why you do the things you do, what are your goals, what do you really want from people, and be brutally honest, okay? You cannot grow if you do not embrace your dark side, which is a very difficult concept for a lot of people who aren't really into metaphysics to really understand. Your dark side is the things you don't like about yourself. And I don't care how much we protest, we all have things about ourselves we don't like. But you know what? There's power in those things, because they can motivate you to look at things from a different perspective. Oftentimes the things we don't like about ourselves are being driven by traumas and things in our past. And I will tell you, a lot of things that you might think are your issues really aren't at all. They're symptoms. And when you start working on those core issues, when you start becoming very authentic with yourself first, because you have to do it with yourself, and then start doing it with other people. I mean, at the very least, just be yourself to yourself. Don't talk yourself into stuff. Don't try to repress who you are. Let those thoughts flow through your head, but don't do it unconsciously. Think about what's happening to you, okay? Think about the thoughts you're having. Think about what your motivations are. Think about where are those thoughts coming from, and what exactly do they mean to me on a personal level, And I guarantee you, once you get some experience of doing that under your belt, you're going to be able to start doing that with other people, And I just can't tell you how far I've come in the last couple of years. I literally was a decimated human being. Seriously, I could not stop crying. I cried every day. and if you watch my other videos, you can kind of get a sense of what that was all about. But I won't cover it now because it's ancient history. I mean, when you really put your life in perspective and you really start to understand who you are and what you're motivated by, a lot of these things in the past are just going to stay in the past. Because that's the thing about trauma. Trauma is something that happens to us, but it eventually becomes something in the past. But we often let it affect the present. And when you start becoming authentic, okay, you're going to start living in the moment and being present. Because if you're living back in, we'll just use this as an example, when you were 5 years old and your mom screamed at you because you stole a cookie out of the cookie jar, and she made you feel like a horrible, selfish person, and you really encapsulated that, and from that point forward, you believed you were a horrible, terrible person. Well, we all make mistakes, but a lot of trauma comes down to forgiving yourself, And being authentic with oneself really starts with forgiving yourself. You don't have to be 5 years old anymore. Sure, that happened to you. Sure, it was terrible. But the other thing is putting yourself in the shoes of the abuser. I know that's a horrible thing for a lot of people who are really hurting to encompass or deal with, or they feel so angry towards that abuser. But abusers are oftentimes abused people. And the saying that we've all heard a million times, hurt people hurt people. Am I excusing the behavior? Absolutely not. But I'm telling you, once you understand why the abuser did what they did, it starts to take some of the sting out of it for you, because you begin to realize it wasn't your fault. It's not your fault that people abuse you. You are not responsible for their behavior. And sure, it hurts, but I'm not sure where I was going with that. It will get better, if you can just address different perspectives about these things. So again, it all starts with being authentic with yourself, and then eventually, once you get some skills, starting to be yourself with others. It's liberating and it's amazing, and it only frees you up to walk your path. Anyway, that's my little rant. Hope you enjoyed it. 13 minutes and 5 seconds of some advice from a grandpa. I'm not really a grandpa, but I might as well be. Everybody calls me daddy anyway. Talk to you later. Bye.